excited for the opportunity to provide our community with valuable health information, resources, and trainings in spite of C-19 being here. We welcome this opportunity to serve our community, and we will be conducting monthly webinars to inform and instruct our community on a variety of topics, such as COVID-19, ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences. They will include youth and parenting skills and available resources. Please look for future webinars in the future. You can join us on either our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/heal, or on our website at www.healaz.org. You can also join us virtually on the fourth Monday of the month from 9:30 to 11:30 when we hold and host our monthly meeting. Recently, HEAL held its first virtual community forum on September the 24th. The topic was a Black and Brown conversation, stripping the shame of suicide, addressing stereotypes and stigmas. Our panelists included the Reverend Reginald Walton, Edward James III, Ms. Lynn Patterson, Ms. Deborah Hernandez, and Leroy M. Douglas III. Some of the takeaways were that it is okay to address this issue in our community because that is something that we frown upon or rarely do. Also, we want to let you know, and we found out that there were several resources available, and we can provide a list of those services that are being offered. Other activities that we conducted over the most recent month, and we're ongoing now, was this past Saturday, we held an art camp at the Parsons Centers where we attracted around 30 plus kids and adults. And the kids had a fun time painting and making, I have no idea what they were painting. I guess it was mod art, but they had a great time. The parents had a great time. We had a great time. So please be on the lookout for future events coming up. And also currently right now, we are involved with Red Ribbon Week. And for that, in case you're not familiar with Red Ribbon Week, this week is held in honor of the DEA agent Enrique Camarena, who was serving his country and was unfortunately had his life taken. So in honor of him, we hold a weekly substance abuse prevention campaign, which is recognized as the largest one in the country during the last week of October. They have various activities that go on that range from painting, speeches conducted, and it's generally youth-led. So that's a very exciting time and a great time for our youth to get involved with this worthwhile activity. This year's theme was, give me a second, I got to read my handwriting. And this week's theme was, where did I write it? Be strong. I'm saying be happy, be brave, be drug-free. And what we did was we held a poster contest where we had youth mainly that were members of our own group, Youth Taking Charge, YTC, which meets on the third Saturday of every month at 10 o'clock, and the YMCA Boys and Girls Club in Central Phoenix. You can see this fabulous artwork on either our website or our Facebook page. Okay, so now let's get back for today. Oh, I'm sorry, I had one more little quick announcement. There will be a drug take back on November the 14th, and it will take place in various locations around the valley, mainly in the East Valley, in Glendale, and in South Mountain. Once we get the exact locations, again, you can go to our website or Facebook page and find out the exact location. This will give you the opportunity to get rid of all those unused prescription pills, that you have around the house. And all it is to drive up, drop it in the bag, and away you go. But now let's get to the important thing about today, which is our first webinar and our first presenter, who is Mr. Calvin Worthen, who is in charge of our media portion of our work that we do here. And the title of this is Against Adversity. So what we're going to do here is learn how to identify trauma and its effect on the body. Incorporate the practice of self-care and the importance of building a trauma-informed community. So with that being said, we will turn it over. Now, this is a very interactive webinar, so please be ready. And so I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Calvin Worthen.
Thank you so much, Clyde Miller. I appreciate the great introduction. So what you are about to experience is a workshop that is currently being funded as a part of another program here with TCDC, the Project for Success program, the Family Preservation Project, where we have developed a program to address Black and historical trauma and as a community building exercise. So you're going to experience that workshop today. And there's going to be a poll and a video, and then there's going to be an activity that we're going to participate in. So I will ask those individuals who do not have their cameras on, you will need your cameras on just because we are trying to build a community of resilience here and address trauma. And we want to definitely, as much as possible, this program was done in 2019 in person. When I started this, we were doing this in person. So when we start doing the activity, I'd ask that you please cut your camera on so that we can start to build empathy in our community. Again, I want to say thank you and welcome to all individuals who have come on to experience this. And, it is designed to address Black trauma, but I'm sure that we can find a way to incorporate how trauma has affected all of us here today. I'm going to start off by asking, are there any individuals who have taken this survey before? And I'm gonna put the survey in the link. It may just take a minute for you to just click on. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm sorry, I said the link. I'm gonna put the survey in the chat. So it may just take you a minute to click onto it and get to the survey. But I will. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that link in there for you. And if you've taken the survey already, I know some people may have, it does ask for your email. If you've taken the survey already, you would need another email for it. So if you've taken the survey already, just bear with us really quick. We'll get all this settled here. All right, in the chat box. There's a link. If you just take a moment, and I'll do a couple of more, maybe some explanation about what's taking place here. So currently, this program is designed to address trauma for the Black and African American community, and it helps to one, build a recognition of the shared trauma that we experience as this unique group here in America. And it also addresses the effects of trauma on the body and how trauma is one of our enemies, but it's something that's going to be all around us. And so adversity is what we've been given, and we're going to learn a little bit about how to press through with that. If you are completed with the survey, the pre-survey, you can go ahead and just give me a thumbs up, an indicator of you've done so, so that I could move on and to show the video that the survey was about. You're about to view a a video that's kind of been a work in progress, but a love child of mine. And this came out of my time. I served as a Arizona Aces coach with the Arizona Aces Consortium from 2019. I served as an ACE coach for the HEAL Coalition, and I still currently serve in that role as an ACE coach for HEAL Coalition. And this program came out of the necessity of having something to grab onto after you realize what ACEs was, and the trauma of getting the message about adversity and the effects of adversity on my health, and the effects of community adversity on my children and my education and my experience here in these United States. So this was a product that I had developed in 2015, and I used it with a classrooms that I taught in. I spent 12 years in education, and I was mostly educating in the Title I schools of free and reduced lunch. 98% students may have been on free and reduced lunch. So a lot of these students, had issues with communication. So I developed this as a means of creating a time and space for communicating, so that we could learn to identify who we are in this environment, so that I could teach them. Part of my pedagogy is that I don't think that it's going to be effective to try to teach an individual who's a stranger anything. So, first part of teaching is really building that empathy and making a connection with people. So,
Informed care is an organizational structure and treatment framework that emphasizes physical, psychological, and emotional safety, and helps survivors rebuild a sense of control and empowerment. How do you know you? How do you know who you are? We all agree that our five senses, sight, smell, hearing, touch, taste, help to determine our surroundings. You are the sum total of sights, smells, sounds, sleights of hands, and savorings of flavors, along with the responses that were demonstrated for you. That's important to know. Your responses were demonstrated, and you repeated those actions if the response brought you pleasure or saved you from danger. Then your brain stores the information you receive from the environment through your senses as memories, and memories inform your emotions. Have you ever felt anxiety from adversity? Anxiety shows up in our bodies as overthinking, avoidance, sweating, stomach aches, panic attacks, needing reassurance, procrastination, breathing challenges, headaches, rapid heartbeat, memory challenges, and insomnia. Secreting harmful chemicals through the body like cortisol, norepinephrine, and adrenaline, and can be seen in others as a loss of executive function, loss of hearing, an inability to speak, unable to organize thoughts, words, and actions, heart rate increases, hyperventilation, complaints of stomach pains, and feelings of impending doom. These are natural responses to anxiety, and these responses are contagious. You could easily contract anxiety from family, friend, foe, or your environment. This is a standard response for our protection. The sympathetic nervous system response is the body's involuntary response to stressful situations or danger. If the stress response cannot be turned off, our body's defenses break down. Be proactive. Be empowered. If you practice self-regulation, you can stay ahead of anxiety, no longer taking biological responses personally. When you come in contact with someone who is showing signs of anxiety from adversity, you can offer an opportunity to express feelings and expel chemicals associated with those feelings from the body. Individuals who are born with social determinants like lack of opportunity, a lack of economic mobility, poor housing quality, poverty, discrimination, community disruption, and violence are more likely to experience mental depression, mental illness, domestic violence, divorce, incarceration, incarceration by proxy, substance abuse and misuse, physical and emotional neglect or abuse, even homelessness. Remember, our biology plays a significant role in our decision-making process. Any decisions made under stress can be evaluated through a trauma-informed approach as a potential path of recovery. Our first responsibility in self-regulation is knowing the one thing we can control in any situation we find ourselves, our breathing. If you can recognize biological signs of anxiety from adversity, here's a simple response that benefits our biology. A resilience strategy, if you will. The practice of self-regulation as self-care. Breathing for 6 to 8 seconds, inhaling and exhaling. When you begin to mentally focus on regulating breathing, your brain secretes dopamine, melatonin, and serotonin, initiating a parasympathetic nervous system response, producing the feelings of calm and contentment. This biological reaction occurs naturally once we begin to regulate our breathing. Just get high on your own supply. Practice for 1 minute a day. That's 5 deep breaths. Building resilience takes practice. If you are able to recognize your stress responses, you can get ahead of this biological reaction, gain control of your executive functions, and maintain calm in stressful situations. Our second responsibility in self-regulation is regulating thoughts. Since we are controlling our breathing, there's no talking aloud or aloud. Either way you put it, the mind begins to distract with words and ideas. Create positive affirmations for negative self-talk. It builds new neural nets in the mind. Then you can return your focus to breathing. If you understand how our bodies naturally release harmful chemicals as a response to anxiety from adversity, be aware of your body. Practice your resilience strategy of self-regulation as self-care. Ask what happened, not what's wrong. And share what you know with family and friends. Let's build a trauma-informed community of resilience together.
All right. Thank you so much for your patience in viewing. I first want to give you a chance to respond to what you saw, any reactions to what you just viewed there that, we can go one at a time. You could let me know by raising your hands, and I can call on you. If you don't know how to raise your hand, you go down to the chat function, and you can let me know as well. Go ahead, William. Thank you so much.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was great. One of the things that I think it stressed is knowing how your mind reacts or causes your body to react, to those quiet, what I call quiet killers, which stress is like a number one that triggers maybe other things like your self-image and the things that you do daily that may cause you to seek refuge in other things like drugs or like smoking or like drinking or the other things that seem to offer a passage from a problem or a concern that you carry or that you have. So I like it. It looks pretty good. If anything, I'd like to see more activity. Perhaps you can blend in more of the real active shots with some of the things like on the brain and some other things there with it. But if that's it, then that's great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Right on. Right on. Anybody else, any first reactions and responses to the video? If you can mute yourself, Brother William.
Yeah, Calvin, this is RJ.
Hey.
I'll turn on the video. I love the presentation, and I actually wish that we had used this in the suicide town hall, because one of the primary discussions we had was how to counter that, how to counter the stress that would cause someone to want to do harm to themselves or to others. And this video would have been a great gift to that town hall. So thank you. And hopefully we'll see more and more of it.
Righteous. Yeah, and that's what we're here to talk about today, how to counter that. We want to counteract that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the video. And one of the things that I found interesting about it was the idea that it was something that was understandable. Being trauma informed and ACEs and other things of that nature can be very scary for some people. And for the novice person, this video, to me, would give them that insight and that information and make them more comfortable with the subject and stuff, and be willing to find more about it and to find out more about themselves. So I guess you can call it the gateway to finding out about yourself, would be a good way to put that.
That's righteous. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Anybody else want to give any initial reactions?
One of the things that I'd like to add is that I think, like Clyde says, to the novice person, is that, I need to look at my camera, is that I like how it explains how different emotions that are triggered by stress are intersected with body functions, with your organs and so on. And so how everything in your body is connected in one way or another. And if there's a stress on one point, it affects other parts of your body as well. And I think once people start to understand that, then they can not only start to notice when stressors are taking over, but also the effect that they would have on you. So you would have early detection.
Hey, Calvin. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, in the military, I'm also a first sergeant, and the number one killer in the military right now is suicide across the board. And I really like how your video emphasized the controllables, the breathing, reflecting on your thought patterns. I mean, those are huge. So it's really good, really useful tool. Thank you.
Calvin, just the mere fact that, I want to thank the guy who put that together, because his calming voice actually makes that presentation very welcoming, and it helps understand that concept of self-regulation, right? But the way that putting it together, like in how the simplistic way, going back to that, of putting it together, how that affects us is ideal, because a lot of people don't understand that, the science to it. And that's a great presentation on that end. More so, even let's go with technology now. I have my Apple Watch. My Apple Watch tells me, hey, you need to do a breathing technique now for a whole minute, and I sometimes ignore it. But even that, you could, by your presentation, you could start looking at other ways to remind you, hey, have you done your breathing today? Have you done your self-regulation today? So it's a good presentation.
Thank you all so much. I have a poll as well, so if you could remember, or if, I don't want to interrupt. Anybody else have anything they wanted to say about it? Okay, if not, I can. I'm going to launch this poll, and you guys give me your thoughts about what stood out most to you in the video. Got a couple more responses from the poll, unless 75%. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and launch the polling results. I think that there's two more people that we were waiting on. Maybe. Yeah.
Calvin, I don't see the poll, but I think that's because you and I are both logged in under the same.
Oh, got it. Yeah, yep. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show the results, and it looks like the practice of self-care, self-regulation as self-care was a concept that stood out the most. I'll go ahead and share those results with everyone. I think that's really unique. I'm glad that that shines true again. This idea of self-regulation has been quoted to be the single most determining factor of success. And this is one of the reasons why I promoted it so much to my students, and now, to HEAL Coalition and the rest of Phoenix. So what I want to do quickly is just take a moment to actually perform this exercise. I want us to take 5 deep breaths, and then we're going to participate in an activity called the celebration circle. So along with the practice of self-regulation and self-care, we have the expression of our feelings, an expression of self, also is a healing benefactor for the processes of our body. So when we are allowed space and opportunity to really express ourselves and give some time to vent or to explain or to rationalize and share commonality with people, we are building empathy, and inside of a community with empathy, we're protecting each other. As a trauma-informed community of resilience members now, since you've watched the video, I've taken over your life. Absolutely. You are a part of this community of resilience, and there are 4 expectations that I have for you as members of this this new revolutionary group. So I'm going to share with you 4 of the concepts, the principles that are a part of this program here. So, and these are the commitments that I just need from you. That's our celebration circle. Here's this one here. So, to be a part of this trauma-informed community of resilience, these are 4 commitments that you must make to remain a member of this community. That you must recognize signs of anxiety in yourself, no longer feeling the shame from your own personal biological responses. You have to recognize signs of anxiety in community, no longer taking those biological responses personally from your community members. Third, you're going to demonstrate and solicit the practice of self-regulation and self-care within your community. And lastly, We're going to make space for our community members to expel harmful chemicals and toxins from the body that produced whenever we have anxiety. These are the 4 commitments. And how we do this is that we build a celebration circle. I have breakout rooms already assigned for you. And in these breakout rooms, we are going to have a celebration circle. So the celebration circle is essentially a group of people who get together in a circular form. If COVID-19 hadn't hit us so hard, we would have been able to do this in a circle and really enjoyed some other wonderful benefits of the circle. But this activity will require your video to be on. And so the celebration circle is the opportunity for our community members to expel those harmful chemicals. So in the circle, we determine the time, and we want to mine our time. So we will determine for today, it will be a 3-minute. That should give us enough time. So I know somebody's got a 2 o'clock, a 3-minute. So it'll be about 10 minutes from now. We should be about done. But I need somebody to be a timekeeper in their celebration circle to hold 3 minutes of the time and to make sure that we mind our time. In the celebration circle, we're going to create a celebration phrase. So after somebody shares their answer to the question, the celebration phrase is shouted aloud, and we are really celebrating, and we're thankful for their person giving their time and building this community. Next, we're going to be demonstrating active listening for resonance. We want to be able to make sure that we're listening for something that we might need, some information, some connection of resonance of, I struggle with that too, because maybe after this is over, you might have to call them up later. Make sure you share your story and not someone else's story. Make sure we mind your speech instead of speaking your mind. Sometimes I do these workshops with youth and adults. So that one is for those members who need to be conscious of that. Don't incriminate yourself on this situation here. And remember that this is a safe place and a sacred place. And if we can follow these rules, we'll be set and ready. Are there any questions from anybody who is absolutely excited to participate today? No questions?
Yeah, I have one. I don't know what we're discussing in this circle.
That's a great question. That's good. That is good. So today we are going to be talking about who is not here in 2020 right now. We're going to give some time for the people who have not made it, that we have lost. And in this circle, we're going to talk about who is not here and what brought you joy about their life. I will make sure to type that in the text so that everyone can see that. But we're gonna be discussing who's not here with us now, who didn't make it this far, and you know what made us happy about their life, what brought us joy about their life. Are any more questions? All right.
Calvin, I think Mr. Smitherin wants to say something, or he's Calvin. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I see him. I'm gonna have
Mr. Smitherin. You check out what he wants.
Yeah, I'd love to stay with you all. This is extremely important, but I do have to leave now to get to my 2 o'clock. It shouldn't take long, but what I'll try to do is rejoin you on my cell phone. Okay.
Okay, and I'll put you in the a room with me, so we'll take some time and let everybody get their talk in too.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
Good seeing all of you. Talk to you later.
She didn't have to worry about us anymore. We were all going to always stay in touch and be together. I'm the eldest child, and I'm the only one that's away from home. And I've been away from home since I left home in 1973 after I graduated from high school. One of my things that I had been preparing myself for my whole entire life was realizing that every time when I went home and I saw somebody, that might be the last time I see them. So I've always prepared myself for that. And this time, because we were able to see her and talk to her, losing her was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be and stuff. So that's it.
Hey,
Okay.
Clyde, I just was going to ask real quick, was there a timekeeper, and did you guys set your celebration phrase yet?
Oh, okay. We have the timekeeper, but I forgot about the celebration phrase. But my celebration phrase is, "Let's get this started in here." Yeah,
Hey, that's all right. We'll take that. We'll take that. Let's all join in, and Brother Clyde, and thank him so much for sharing his story. And then this will be our celebration phrase here. The 1, 2, 3. Let's get it started.
Yeah.
All right. So who's next? Who's up next?
Well, thank you very much for this. One of my things that I have was, being in a new place in my life, and I've gone through a lot of adversity, so I never can truly understand which one I want to focus on, but the one I want to focus on the most is becoming the matriarch in the family, and a lot of people depending on me. And as y'all can see that picture behind me, my mother passed away like 23 years ago, and one thing when I got my degree was to recognize that she's not here, and she was there when I was in my worst phase of life, but didn't get to see her. So somebody sent that. And ever since, it just seems like for the past few weeks, all I'm seeing is pictures of my mother and just coming back. So I've been really blessed by knowing that she's near, even though I don't get to have her. So I thank you, because it does help me build up and become like what we do now in my family is before, whenever I'm talking to anybody, even in my office, I'll tell you I love you, whether, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'll say, I love you. I said it to Lauren for the first time at a conference in front of the whole place. And I was like, I love you, man. And he's like, I love you too, But, we share that love, because you never, like Clyde said, you never know when it's going to be the last time you talk to that person. So in our family, we'll say goodbye and I love you before we hang up the phone, before we leave the door, when we leave out, all of that. So I thank you for that. That's it. And my celebratory thing is, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, we all gonna share that with you then. We're gonna share in that with you, right? Ready? 1, 2, 3. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's all right. That's all right.
So Mike, you next, because Steve already claimed last.
I might have to check in on the other room to make sure everything is going in there. You guys are doing an excellent job, and I like your celebration phrase. Make sure everybody echoes your celebration phrase with you in support of you. Thank you all so much for participating.
Okay.
Thank you. Steve and I may have, I don't know who he's got.
All right. In the last year, I haven't had any deaths in my immediate circle. I do have a family member up in Denver, Colorado, who passed. She was very young. She was in her 40s. She had 1 biological and 2 adopted children that she left behind. And her demise was very short-lived. She went into the hospital for some ailment, and within the week, she had passed away, Juleka. And my connection to her is she is my first cousin's daughter, so she was my second cousin. There was kind of a challenge in that it was during that time of our COVID challenges, our initial COVID challenges, where people were not encouraged to travel, nor were they even having gatherings for funerals or any types of celebrations. And so that was kind of a challenge to be able to work through that with my family from afar, because they were up in Denver. And of course we were here. So, Juleka was always smiling, always had something short and witty to say. She always had a response to things, and it was always truthful. And she was always able to, no matter what she had to respond to, she was always able to put a little bit of humor to it. And so she might hit you with something hard, but once you thought about it and all, you have a little bit of chuckle about it. And so she always added a little bit of humor to whatever medicine she had to give to you or her children or whatever. And so she was a special part of my life, and I will miss her. So that's that.
Thank you for that. Have you guys established a celebration phrase?
Not yet.
Lauren.
Well, we've just been kind of like,
well, let's celebrate you, Lauren. Thank you so much for telling that story. We want to celebrate you. What have we been doing? It's been are you going to go with the dog pound?
We've been doing the celebration. Yeah.
The dog pound. Woo. Right on.
All right. And so that's all three of us.
That's all three of us? Oh, well,
Right.
well, you know what? Maybe I'll share then. My brother, Timothy Porter, I love him dearly. He passed away at 36 a few years ago. We were 10 years apart. We had this this goal to go to Vegas together and celebrate his 50 and my 40. And I just turned 41. He's been gone for a while, and so it's just been a an issue for me connecting with his children that he left and his wife that he left because of my own struggles and our family just dealing with our own poverty and our disruption and moving around and trying to make do. And I recently got in touch with my niece, that's his oldest, and she looks just like him, and it was it was moving. It was something for me because I really, during his funeral, I had to be a very responsible person. During his passing, I had to be absolutely responsible. I was married at the time, so I had to drive my mother and my family across town or across the country and setting up everything. His wife was distraught. So I had to assume a lot of responsibility during that time. So there wasn't any grieving process for me. But just talking with her over this last birthday of his birthday is a day after mine. And this is just a sad time of the year to think that birthdays don't feel good on your birthday, but I was able to talk with her and recently just share some stories about her father that she wasn't old enough before to hear about, but now she's old enough to hear a little bit about him and to make that bridge and that connection. So I've been that's who's not here, and he brought me joy. He was a gangster and a minister and all sorts. He lived a hard life. So thank you all for allowing me to share.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You go, boy.
All right. So go ahead.
And Calvin, let's just share with you a little bit of a filter that we put on our sharing. We weren't sure if you meant that we were to go back throughout time or just in this past year of 2020 COVID. And so we just stuck with the 1 year.
Well, who's not here? Who ain't here that should be here that could be helping you make you feel better? You know, whoever.
Right.
Whoever.
Calvin, there are so many that I cannot.
We might have to revisit the question then.
I mean, really, there've been so many. I can't. I think it would traumatize me to even think about. I mean, if you think about all the loss, the people that Ebony House lost over the years, I knew all those people for the last 30 years. I can't. There's so many. My mom just passed away a few years ago, so I celebrate all of them. I celebrate that they were all in my life. But my losses started, well, before you guys were born. So I can't. I'm sorry. That's just too many.
That's all right. Well, I mean, it's not to unpack at once. You know, it's not to just unpack right now. But we have to create space and time to revisit these individuals who impacted our lives. Who may not be here, and we have to remember that it's bigger than us. And so I thank you all so much for participating. I think that we might be headed. There might be some people in the general session. We may have to get back in, but this is great. It seemed like it was a good conversation. So I'm going to leave the room and check on them. And I think we got about 3 more minutes left. If so, I think they had 4 in their group as well, or 5. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you, Calvin. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Margaret saw the signs. She was ready to go. She saw. It was good conversations going on. You have to unmute yourself. I can't hear you. It was a good conversation going on. So I know it was getting good. So
yeah, we had some good conversations. Do I need to take this? Are you showing me the poll?
Oh no, it's just there. I can take this off the screen.
Oh, they still in there, yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right. Hey, it's a. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. This is kind of how our we do our breakout sessions for our CR on Tuesday nights.
Oh, nice.
So I know when to click in and click out.
Righteous. That's good.
I'm learning, Calvin. I'm learning.
You're doing well too. I think, yeah, you're doing well. You exceed. You doing.
See,
well.
I know something when I teach it. You know what I'm saying? If I could teach people what I don't know, I would know a lot.
I get it.
But Calvin, we were still talking.
I know. I was sending the warnings.
No, well, actually, we were getting ready to leave along with Margaret, but Steve told me I had a few more seconds. So we wanted to use up all our time.
That's all right. Well, no complaints with that. So I have a couple of questions because I got to check in on everybody. So let me know in the chat box if you remember a celebration phrase from your celebration circle. Type it in the chat box. I'll yell out a few of them. If you remember your celebration phrase, let me know. That's important. We got to celebrate each other. It's hard to talk to strangers. It's hard to talk to family. It's hard to open up. So we want to make sure. Whoop, whoop. I like the whoop, whoop. I see you.
That's what that meant. Whoop, whoop.
Got it in there. Let's get it started in here. I like that one. Steve Costante dropping it in there. That's all right. So, yeah. So great. You guys are getting the concept, this idea of creating this space to be able to allow members of our community, of this trauma-informed community of resilience, to expel these toxins and to really solicit and practice this idea of self-regulation to others in our community. So any responses to like the celebration circle, any reactions, like anybody like the celebration circle? You think it's cool? It might not be. And I didn't have a good time, or I did have a good time. Anybody?
I'd like to share. Ricky, do you mind if I share a little bit of what you shared with us?
Oh, not at all.
All right. I'd like to share what Ricky shared. We kind of put a filter on, you said, Calvin, who may not have made it through 2020. We didn't know whether that was in our lifespan or just over the last year. So we put a filter on it for just the last year. And one of the things that Ricky shared with us was that in that last year, she had not lost any friends or family members. And she said that was very important for her because her immediate circle is her family. Her friends, her best friends are her sister and her first cousins or whatever. And so when it's time to go hang out, her family members are the people that she goes and hangs out with. And that just really touched me, and I thought was very profound to have that type of support around her. Then towards the end of our conversation, she was talking about her career in the military and how she switched her career path just so she could come back and be with her family again. And so I think that's a very, very close and tight bond that she shares with her family. And so that just really touched and impressed me. And I want to thank her for sharing.
For me,
and allowing me to share as well.
I really enjoyed the bond, which I always believed was there, that exists within the military. Because Michael and Steve both chose the same person to remember, and it was interesting to see how they both centered on, I think, one main characteristic that the guy had, but they both told a different story and shared about that that he was a corny joke teller, pretty much, and told corny stories. But one of the things that I've learned in life is sometimes those are the best stories, and the best jokes are the corny ones and stuff. Because you're like, nobody could be that bad. No story could be that bad. They just need to quit. But hey, I want to thank them for sharing, and also Margaret sharing us more about her family and her older family, because I think most of us here at TCDC have been with Margaret for a long time, and she was one of the first volunteers to come on from a class Al and I taught years ago, and she's been with us ever since.
That's right.
So to find out where her true motivation came from and the people that really inspired her, that certainly made me understand her a little bit more. So I thank everybody in my group for sharing.
That's what the celebration circle is for. Is to build that bond. Is to build that community. Because how are we gonna know how to take care of each other if we can't share about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike and Steve, y'all might be getting a corny joke from me at least once a month.
I got one now.
That sounds good. It sounds good. I like it.
What do you do? Who do you call when you lose your toe?
Oh, I got it.
Good.
Want it?
Yeah. I told you already, Lauren.
No, okay. I've never heard that.
Who?
A tow truck.
Tow truck. Okay.
Here, I have a corny joke for you.
Thank you, Calvin. Made my day.
Why did the dog choose not to bite the clown?
I don't know why.
Because it tasted funny.
Oh, the clown. Okay.
Oh, the clown? I can't. Well, at least we know we just released some more oxytocin, and we're healing ourselves right now with this wonderful opportunity. So I want to say thank you all for coming and participating with us. We're going to be doing more of these with the Family Preservation Project. We're going to continue hosting some of these, and maybe even host some in person. If you got more questions, just let us know over here at TCDC, and we'll be putting some more information out. The Family Preservation Project does have a Facebook page, so you can go to the Family Preservation Project Facebook page, like us and follow us. We're putting some more of the dates of the events like this that will continue on that Facebook page. And I want to thank HEAL for allowing us to come in and use their platform and their space and archive this recording in their learning library, including those jokes. we got to make sure that those get archived in the learning library. So the HEAL Coalition, thank you so much for creating the space for me to come in and be able to create and test out some of these theories and be supported as your ACE coach as well. And I want to thank everybody that showed up today as well. I really enjoy putting on this workshop, and it's kind of a fun thing to see everybody get better and build some awareness of self and self-regulation. So thank you again. And Clyde, if you got anything to wrap up, I have a link in the chat. While he's wrapping up, there is a post survey link in the chat. If you need me to, I could paste it again, but it's right before we started talking about those celebration phrases. There's a post survey in the chat, so you got a little bit of homework. And then, like I said, follow the Family Preservation Project on Facebook, and you'll see some more of when we're holding these and some of the discussions that we'll be having. I've been kind of secretive about this a little bit, but we'll start to put some more word out about this activity.
Okay, Calvin, I don't see the post survey in the chat.
You got to scroll up, but I could copy it and put it in there again.
Oh, shucks, I don't know what I did.
I see the pre.
Okay. Yeah, I see the pre.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, I got it. So, again, we'd like to thank Brother Calvin Worthy for his words of wisdom today. I'd like to thank all you for tuning in to us at our very first endeavor at our first webinar and our first foray into this realm. So we encourage you to continue to join us, follow us on Facebook, or visit the website. And we ask that if you would like to do a webinar, just contact either Lauren or myself, and we'll put you on the schedule. Because we look forward to doing this for the entire year, for the remaining. Well, when I say year, I mean the work year, not the calendar year. So our work year goes to sometimes to next September, I think, before this contract work out. So we'll be looking for one a month. And Margaret, if you can hold that back up for me a little bit so I can give you a plug for next month. Margaret, can you hold that up for me again so I can try to read it, put it right on the screen? So our subject next month is going to be Let's Talk. And it's going to be geared for parents to learn some parenting skills to how to deal with their kids during COVID-19 during this season. So please join us for that. Again, you'll be able to register on either the Facebook page or the website. And so I think that is all. And I'll let Mr. Lauren Gvazard with the glasses, not Mr. Lauren Gvazard with the hat, have the last word.
All right, thank you, Clyde. I'd like once again, as Clyde mentioned, we'd like to thank all of you for the time that you've given to. Oh, let me look at the camera. I'm looking at my monitor. I need to look you in the face and say, hey, thank you for taking time to share with us in our first in a series of webinars. We, as always, we try to get out into the community, and since COVID has come out, this is our way of reaching out. And so we thank you for giving us that opportunity. As Clyde said, this is the first in a series. So I'd like to thank Clyde and Calvin for being the guinea pigs for this. And well, not necessarily the guinea pigs, but actually they kind of help set the bar and help establish the model for which we are going to follow. As Clyde said, the next one will be Miss Margaret, and that will be November the 24th. And so be looking for flyers on that. And then the next one after that will be in January. So with that, I bid you adieu and thank you very much, and wish you to have a fantastic weekend. And we'll see you throughout the month as we pick up our HEAL subcommittee meetings.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you again.
RJ.
All right. Bye-bye, family.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Calvin, you're going to wrap up the recording? Okay.
Yep.
And that'll save what's in the chat as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Hold on, I'm doing my survey.
Good. I hope everybody else did their survey.
I did mine.
Okay, I have to learn how to set up the survey.